the sun risen sessions as we've come a little bit later today. I tried to come back a little bit from the edge so the mic hopefully works a little bit better without the beautiful sound of the raging ocean. So these sunrise sessions are becoming some days I just sit here, press live and see what comes. I have no idea what's coming. Doesn't matter what's coming, just allow what wishes to present itself and re-present itself. So yesterday I had a real beautiful reconnection with the water. Just putting my feet in the water was incredible. Wow, just the feeling of the water. It was very cold, and just the feeling of connecting with the water, connecting with nature is just like so invigorating, so enlivening, so inspiring. And we talked about the water last week, but it's really important to remember them, like the importance and the import and the connection and the aliveness of water and the aliveness of ourselves. Like if you look at this planet, it's surrounded in water. It's a water planet. You got water with pieces of land on it, and our bodies massively, predominantly made up of water, and it's amazing to think that there's some idea of like there's a shortage of water. It's never true. There's a shortage of compassion and the energy of sharing in the world, so that people do experience a lack of water, but there's no lack of water. There's never a lack of water. The same amount of water that's always been here is always here. Man might divert water into different places, and in some third world countries and stuff, the corruption, those sorts of things, allow water to be diverted and kept away from those who need it, but there isn't a shortage of water. There's never a lack of water, just like there's never a lack of anything. There cannot be. Lack is a false idea appearing real. Fear. Lack cannot exist. Just look at water. Just look at them. Look at this. Look at the abundance of this. Feel the rain. Look at the rivers. Then you've got all the kind of invisible water, the water vapor that you see in the water in the clouds. The water as our body. It's just amazing how humans, we can limit the limitless. It's one of our gifts. It's simultaneously our greatest gift and our greatest curse. We're the masters of limitation. But because we can limit the limitless, we can have this experience called body, called world, called all of this that is appearing. And because we can limit the limitless, we give ourselves extremely limited experiences of limitless potential. So there's always this paradox. And the paradox is we are limitless, we are limitlessness itself, and limitlessness cannot experience itself unless it has some form of limitation, some form of body, some form of separation. So the gift is that we can limit the limitation, the limitless, and the challenge is that we can limit the limitless. So the choice is, like water. Water always finds its own level, water always finds a way, water is always present, there's no lack of water. So we get to choose how we choose to limit the limitless. What way do we choose to take this infinite potential and bring it into a singular perspective so that we can experience ourselves? So we can go to the one extreme, I'm in complete separation, I'm in complete lack, I'm in complete loss. There's no purpose or point to any of this, which is actually true, paradoxically. but I choose to just be a victim. I choose to feel like and speak like and think like and act like I'm always separate, I'm always lacking, I'm always at loss, I am uh, a worthless pawn being moved around on the chessboard of life. Or we can see I am limitlessness. I get the gift to limit this limitlessness to form a body, to form an experience, to form a family, to form a world, to form expressions that surround me. And I can choose to experience that momentary limited experience in limitless ways. So we can take the paradox and invert the inversion, knowing we are limitless, knowing that the limitation of limitlessness into a body, into a world is the gift that allows any experience whatsoever, and we have limitless experiences within this apparent limitation. So we're using our source and then becoming resourceful. So our source is limitless. We experience this world through the senses that seems to be limited into bodies, beings, worlds, and then we become resourceful. We become full of source again by filling ourselves from the source of our being, not from the appearances, which are just holographic rejection, projection of a rejection of the limitlessness. So a holographic projection taking limitless reality and projecting it on the screen of the world. But just like we shared in one of the videos I have no idea of time. One of the videos where we talked about purpose and passion and how does this movie end. Oh, there's a short video, how does this movie end? You can see it on YouTube. There is, we get infinite alternate endings. So we are in a seeming limited body in a limited world, but we get limitless experiences of that. And we could choose to give ourselves very limited experiences of that. We can believe ourselves just to be this body, just to be this story, just to be this one life, and you get it right or you don't, and then you mess it up, or you achieve some form of success, or you get somewhere, or you ascend to the fifth dimension, or whatever your particular flavor of illusion is. Be resourceful. Be full of source while in the experience of seeming lack, while in the experience of seeming separation. We are full of source when we choose to be resourceful. We choose to take the unlimited resources, unlimited source, know that we are the unlimited source, and the source of our being is unlimited, and express it in unlimited ways in the appearance of limitation, in the appearance of a body and a word, and my themes that I'm playing out. So again, certain themes that we play out as a soul, we come from limitless love, unlimited, unconditional love, into the experience of conditional love, it appears, into the experience of the theme of I have this fear, I have this challenge in my life, I have this repeating pattern. That's a gift. When you begin to see it as a gift, we become resourceful. When we are in doubt, when we are in fear, we're dependent on resources. So worldly resources. So I have to depend on this body, I have to depend on these skills, I have to depend on a government, I have to depend on something that is a limited, finite resource in the world. Rather being resourceful, I am source, I am full of source, I am the source of all of this. This is all a projection of consciousnness appearing as limited resources. We begin to become aware that everything is us. It's an energy, and that energy is who we are. But we can't experience who we are unless we seem to limit temporarily who we are. So the limitlessness, the resourcefulness, comes from recognizing who we are and becoming resourceful, becoming full of source again, and no longer depending or feeling we are lacking on worldly resources which are limited. The world is limited because it's a temporary projection into a form like a movie, like a some sort of temporary form, so that we can experience some small part of our source, which is limitless. Because you can't, when you are limitless, when you are the unconditional all, which we always are, you can't experience that because there's no other. There's no form of experience. This is non-duality. There is no form of experience when there is no other. When there is nothing to compare to, when there is nothing to see, there is no experience. So the gift of source is to create a bubble within itself called Earth, world, universe. Every level of this is the same: body, cell, atom. Every level of it is all the same, so that it can experience itself, look back upon itself, give it. And what the human gift is we have the ability to contemplate this. We have the ability to think about what we're thinking about. Metacognition. We have the ability to see what we are seeing, to recognize what we are experiencing, to feel what we are feeling. But we are the source of our experience. Our experience is made of us, and the awareness of that is the gift that we have as humans. We have the ability and the opportunity to become aware of awareness. So we talked about the waters, and we hear water shortages and water limits. This is the human egoic mind that believes itself to be part of the resource world, limited resources at 1144, limited resources that need to be grabbed, taken, mined, held, separated, so that we have enough. And then those others, that's where when you get in corrupt governments and corrupt places that we manifest as a collective consciousness, they keep the limited, what they believe limited resources to themselves, and then others are kept from them in their circumstances. But when we see that we are source, and then we become resourceful, seeing that none of this is limited, it's limited only by the limitations that we place upon it, then we can, again, when those, the beings that are in those places, that there's corruption and there's like water and food is held back from them by beings that believe that they're living in a limited world where they have to hoard and keep the resources. This talk is not for someone who's in that circumstance, because they can't see beyond that, because their daily survival is dependent on. But you who's watching this video has the ability to put into the collective consciousness that we are limitless, and that by osmosis, by the collective consciousness connection that we all have, gives the ability to someone who is in that literal life and death, survival, lack experience, to be able to become resourceful, and then miracles can happen. So we are interconnected, we are interdependent, we are all one. And us who have the blessings of being able to sit here and contemplate this and not think about where am I getting my water today, where, how do I survive, how do I get through the day without this body being killed, or avoiding violence and these sorts of things. We who have the blessings to be able to contemplate this and see this and become resourceful and know that we are full of source, we open the potential for those who don't have the current blessing of being able to contemplate these things daily. They don't have when survival of the body is the predominant energy, expanding beyond that is very, very challenging. Not that it's impossible, and there are those who can be that, but in general, if you're daily looking to survive or looking for water, and it doesn't mean that they can't be there's masters in that place as well, but it's just to show that as a collective consciousness we have this massive separation, this massive divide, those who have and those who have not, those who have plenty and those who have very little. And this has come from false thought. It's a sin, missing the mark, believing we're in a resource-led world where there's limited resources and there's just a few, and I need to get mines, and if I don't get mines, I'm not going to survive. And if others seem to have less in this world, that's okay, because I can get mine and I have to get mine, and survival of the fittest, and all of these things comes from this egoic, false sense of a resource world rather than a full of source, resourceful world, full of source, full of awareness that I am the source of my experience. I am the energy that expresses and experiences all of this, and there is no limitations. There's nothing that is limiting, there is nothing that is lacking. Everything, even in the physical world that seems limited in resources, is full. It's full of source, and only our belief systems and belief in lack and belief in separation and belief in competition are what keep that projection, that holographic projection of lack in the world, and the experience of haves and have-nots, and those who have plenty and those who have little. And even those who appear to have little have everything. They have everything within them. But it would be very disingenuous to say that because that broader truth is available to someone that doesn't feel, has experienced some of that, but to say that, okay, they just need to lift themselves up by their bootstraps, they just need to know that they are sourced, they just need to, like some of the real, I would say, limited teachings on awareness, on source, on law of attraction, law of being, just to say they just don't know, so they just need to become aware of that and everything will be fine. No, we have the blessings of, again, if you're watching this video, you've got some sort of device, computer, phone, that has access to literally pretty much all the information on the planet now. There's someone waking up today that's going to get water. There's someone waking up today don't know where they're going to eat. And it's not about pity, and it's not about poor me, and it's about becoming resourceful. How can my awareness of my source put into the collective field the ability to become resourceful, rather than looking at the limitations, rather than looking at the problems, rather than identifying that I need to get mine, we need to fight to survive, survival of the fittest, all of these. And so in modern science there's a thing called the 100 monkey effect. And I might butcher this, but it's fine. I don't care. But it's something, I'll get the theme of it. There's something along the lines, there was these monkeys on an island that was, separated, as an island is, from other places. And there was a certain thing that the monkeys did, and it was around, I think it was like peeling sweet potatoes or some way of accessing a food. And eventually, on this certain island, the monkeys found a certain way to, again, I don't know exactly, they found a certain way to access this food or peel the food or get to it in a certain way. And so before this, they weren't able to do that. And what was found was on another island that was separate from these monkeys that didn't have obviously an obvious connection. It happened that the monkeys on that other island started to do the same thing whenever it was discovered in the collective field of that monkey consciousness. Again, might not be exact. If someone has the exact, and if I've made a mess of that, you can correct me and give that. But it's called the 100th monkey effect. So a certain amount of monkeys got to a certain level of consciousness where this solution became available. Then it became to the others of their collective without them having to learn it, without them having to go through the circumstance, because it was in the collective field. So if we as humans, you think if that can happen for monkeys, what can happen for emotionally connected, spiritual, awakening, aware humans? Becoming resourceful, recognizing we are a source, recognizing that there is plenty, recognizing that limited resources is a belief system. What can that do for all the other humans that don't necessarily at this moment have the ability, the blessing to be able to contemplate that? The 7 billionth, again, I've seen something recently about the human population, whether that's accurate or not, that's a whole nother rabbit hole. But let's just say a certain amount, a collective tipping point, a critical mass of humanity becoming resourceful, becoming full of source again, opens the doorway for I think these guys are doing some cold dips here today. They're going into the water. I'd planned to do it, but I haven't done it today. hear a few screams in this cold water. It must be cold, eh? Probably about 8 or 9 degrees. So whenever each of us, because we're interdependent, because we're part of a whole, something that you realize is in the field for every human life. Something that you overcome, that potential is in the field for every human being alive. So it's not about like teaching directly, or it's not about serving directly in the obvious ways. Everything that you come through, everything that you learn, everything that you discover, everything that you remember is entered into the field of potential for humanity, and someone that you never meet can be assisted, can be guided, can be inspired to something new, something grander, something beyond themselves, because you did it. You became it. You discovered it. And you never have to meet them, and you'll never know. But that is the way this interdependency, where this connection that we all have. We think that we need this direct interaction with someone. And we are interdependent, and it's continuously unfolding. And so everything that you discover, everything that you go through creates a template, creates a blueprint that makes it possible for something, again, for someone that's waking up just in survival mode. And you have the blessing to discover something today because you're not looking for water, looking for food in the middle of a war zone. You give them the potential to become resourceful, and they have no idea where it came from, and you have no idea that you have that impact. But we do. We have that potential, we have that possibility, and we have that for each other. And their resourcefulness in their circumstances benefits us in circumstances that we could never imagine, how they find a way through, how they discover their truth, how they become truly resourceful in an apparent, very resource depleted area or circumstance, like an area of war or an area of, where there's the appearance of limitation of food or water. Again, it's an appearance. It's not actually true. It is through the mind of man, the mind of the egoic centers that feel that there's limited resources, and they do physically keep them from other people. So we benefit from those who are going through very deep and dark challenges and overcome them in ways that we can't imagine. They give us strength as we give them strength, and we give them inspiration as they inspire us. And we never have to even speak with them. We don't have to speak the same language. We don't have to be in the same room. We don't have to be in the same country. We are continuously influencing the collective field of humanity, and that works both ways. Whenever we wake up, we've got running water, we've got food in the fridge, we've got all of the Western trappings of life, and still we feel like lacking. Still we feel like there's not enough. Still we feel like I wish I had more. That's entered into the field as well at 23. So it works always. What are we entering into the field? What are you gifting your fellow sisters and brothers? What do you enter into the field as a field of potential for people that you will never meet today? What are you choosing to enter on the menu? It gives a different perspective to our daily lives. It gives a different perspective to when we're doing the work. It gives a different perspective when we're feeling the poor me and the victim. It gives a broader perspective to how we are so interconnected. And maybe you don't believe this, and that's fine. You're totally free, and if this is not for you, it's not for you. But if it is for you, and you feel this, and you feel that we are connected, and you feel that you do have possible, well, you could look at it. The word inspired comes from a Latin word that means to be breathed from something outside of you. So when we inspire, we inspira. Inspira is in some of the Latin languages. You inspire. When you expire, you're gone. You exhale. You expire, you're gone, you're dead. When you inhale, you're inspired, you're in spirit, you're being breathed from something outside of you. Something is coming from inside of you, or coming from outside of you and breathing you. Where do you think your good ideas come from? Where are your God ideas come from? Where does the? Do you think that there's just these original thoughts? Where is the when you get inspired and something happens, something comes to you, you get an original thought? Oxymoron. Doesn't exist. There's no original thought. There's an infinite field of thoughts. There's an infinite field of potential, and us as humans, divine humans, are tapping into these infinite fields of potential of thought, and we are choosing to engage with them, move them, use them in the way that we so choose. But just think about and feel how many times things have come to you or things have appeared and you don't really know where they've come from. You can't really place it. You think, especially if it's something you think you've come up with on your own. That's funny. But just really feel and see. Did you really come up with that on your own, or did just something just appear, or someone said a word, or there was a song, or there was a movie, or something happened? Those are obvious when it's like that. But things that just appear. There's just an idea has come, or there's an idea to turn left when you would have turned right, and there was an accident on the road and you missed it. There was like you decided to do something different that day, and you ran into a friend that you hadn't seen for so long. Do you think this is all just random? Think of all the decisions that had to be made for you literally to be in this body now. If your great grandfather hadn't a twinkle in his eye like he had, you wouldn't be here. Just think about all the decisions, all of the choices, all of the things that people that you never met and don't know anything about led to the very possibility of you listening to these words, sitting in that body, looking out. So if it's true for all of your ancestors, why wouldn't it be true for all the other beings that are here on the planet sharing this dream now? Think of all the choices, think of all the synchronicities, think of all the bad chat-up lines. Think of all the chance meetings. Think of all the surrender. Think of the love. Think of the beauty. Think of the attraction of the primal attraction between masculine and feminine energies to come together, just so that you get a body to sit and listen to this weird Irishman with his hair blown all over the place, talking about sun-risen soul sessions. But think about how many decisions, how many choices, how many synchronicities, how many things that just happened, and if they didn't happen, you're not here. Nothing is occurring in this way. Nothing in your life that has ever happened would ever happen. And now you are simultaneously making choices, decisions. I'm not going to look at the chat because when I get stupid, I know I have to make a laugh. This is part of my process to make a laugh. You are making currently decisions now that will affect beings 7 generations from now. You're making a decision today that will affect the world forever. See, on one level, we think ourselves like powerless and so like insignificant, and on the other level, everything that we do is impacting everything, and people that we'll never meet will be impacted by something that you say today. That's literally true. So, just like it's just amazing when you think about that. And you can go back as far as you want and go forward as far as you want. Everything that you do has some impact on some of all of the potential futures and all of the potential pasts and all of the potential presents that are here now. And the one you get to experience, so the pasts and futures are all, just dreams as well of this present. And it's not to dwell in the past, it's not to try and reach for a future or try and change a future. It's that it's the infinite present. So that's why every choice makes is so vital now. It's so impactful that every choice you make now impacts the whole. Every decision you make now impacts the whole. Impacts the whole of humanity. Now, in one way that could make you very scared and not want to do anything. Another way it can make you super inspired, totally inspired to know that I can change my idea. And I can mess it up and mess it up and mess it up, and then I can do one amazing thing and it changes everything. Like 10 years ago, I made a decision that changed everything for me. I decided to become sober, fully sober. I would not be here today, for sure. I would not be here. This body would not be here. I wouldn't have met my beautiful soul partner. I wouldn't have my beautiful son. I wouldn't be sat here on this rock. This body definitely would be in some form of pile of something back at the earth, and which would be fine. But I made a decision that day on the 16th of March 2014 to become sober, and that changed literally everything in my life. But that decision, that's one big decision. It's easy to point to the things. Little decisions every day have the same impact. It's just we don't see them over time. The choice to respond instead of react. The choice to get up early instead of lay in. The choice to lay in instead of get up early. It doesn't matter. Whatever it is, everything impacts the whole, and it impacts the whole of your life, and all of life is impacted by you. And all of your ancestors, again we can go into the projections of past and future, all of your ancestors are impacted by your choices now. All of your future selves are impacted by your choices now. They're all this spherical whole, and every decision made by everyone is impacting everything. Everyone, everywhere, every when, every how, every now. And every potential already exists. So you can't get it wrong. So if you beat yourself up in this moment and say, oh, I can't do it, or I don't matter, or my decisions don't mean anything, or my life, that's fine. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is what you make matter, is what you bring into form by your decisions. That goes into the field, but you can't get it wrong. You can't lose. You can't fail. You can only feel like you failed, but it's not true. But we can always look at it like we can see this as inspirational. This is exciting. The choices I make now can impact the lives of people I will never meet. Something I overcome today can help someone overcome something that I will never see and never hear anything about, and won't know anything about until I drop this body. And then the charade's over. The game's over. Something that I do today, something that I become today, something that I can remember today, can really uplift and change the lives of someone that lives 500 years from now. It's changing the life of someone who's in a horrendous circumstance 300 years ago. Someone living in the dark ages is lifted out of the dark because something you discover today. Again, it's all now. The dark ages is now. The future is now. It's now. So it's instantaneous. You don't have to wait 500 years. It's now. What you become, what you discover, what you remember is impacting all of the allness, all of the everything, the timeless beingness now. I'm just feeling the energy of those watching this and those connecting in the future, and I'm just having a laugh because I'm hearing and feeling some visions and thoughts and jokes that those of you either watching this live or in the future or whatever. Oh, I love yous. I love yous. I love yous. I love us. I love us. You can play with this. Play with it all. Play with it all. Okay, now I'm going to look at the comments because I see my sister Steph replying to Caroline New, laughing, and I can just imagine what that's going to be. Grand Rising, good morning. Katrina, good morning. Dolores, good morning, brother. Tristan, Grand Rising to you, brother. Evelyn, hello, sister, good morning. Young man, Bad chat up lines. Oh my god, yes, there's some jokes. Martin has to arrive in there. Caroline, there are bad chat up lines happening right now. Amazing. Is that me, or you're literally getting a bad chat up line? I need to up my game. No, not really. Only if you want to. Ah, brother Zach. Hello. I love you. Oh, we love you too. We love you too. Can't wait to see you, brother. Are you still in Ireland? No, I think you've left. So if you have watched this for a little bit, so I'm doing these videos and not giving any title to them. I'm just pressing live and see what comes. So could you please put in the comments what you feel the title of this video could be? The funnier, the weirder, the wilder, the better. Yes, put in the comments wherever you're watching what this will be called, and then we'll put it. So it's live on YouTube and Facebook and somewhere else, other platform, Twitter, and yes, all of those. Put in the comments what you feel this should be. Put in the comments any challenges or anything that you feel that was talked here that was absolute bullshit. I'm very open to hear that as well. This is one perspective on infinite potential. But for me, it was very. That thing where you're making decisions. Like, again, I'm listening along as much as anyone here who listens along. And when I'm hearing it, I'm like, holy shit, some of the decisions I make every day. And that's impacting people I'll never meet, impacting generations of the future, generations of the past. You know, there's going to be a, because we're perfectly imperfect humans. We're always making decisions. We mess it up. We do okay. We do amazingly, and all in between, and that's perfectly fine. But it really hit me as those words were coming through. That especially that thing where people that you'll never meet, people that you'll never meet, have some experience. We'll not even say positive or negative. Have some experience because you woke up today, because you are who you are, because of the choice that you made to speak in a certain way, to share something with someone, to even share a look, to hold a door for someone, to whatever, it doesn't matter. Ah, look at this. Epic. But for a twinkle in your great, 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 great granddad's eye. That's it. Epic. Done. That's it, done. Can I copy that? How do I do that? Caroline New. I love it. You have just impacted the lives of whoever will watch this video because of a but for a twinkle in your great, great, great grandfather's eye. Isn't that crazy to think? How many people had to come together in the most intimate experience, you know, can be full of a lot of challenge, can be full of a lot of beauty, it can be full of violence, it can be full of love, it can be full of intrigue, it can be full of so many ways in which this could be. But if that didn't happen multiple to infinity times, you're not even here. You can't hear these words. Your great 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 grandfather and grandmother had to come together in some form in the most intimate way and share like this most intimate of human experiences. Again, who not we and all the ways that can be experienced, and you're not here otherwise. And someone in 2574 is impacted in their DNA, in their thoughts and their feeling in some form because of something that you said, something you didn't say, something you did, something you didn't do, something you discovered, something you shared, something you give, you know, someone you introduced to, think about that, someone you introduced. And that just is like always impacting, always shifting and changing this collective whole. And again, all the futures and all the past are now. So it's now. So that's the gift, is not to think about like the hugeness of all those twinkles in those eyes back generations and all the future generations. It's now. Because it seems too big when we put it out in those places. And just getting through the day sometimes feels too big. But the decisions you make today impact everything in your life and everything in everyone else's life. You just don't get to see it until until we drop the body. And the invitation is to not drop the body, not wait until we drop the body, that great celebration we call death, to make the decisions that you would wish others would make for you. What decision can you make today that you would wish that others would make for you? It's very simple, the golden rule. But we see it like do unto others as you would have them do unto you. It means we have to do something for someone. We have to give them something. We have to know what we do, what decision that we make within ourselves, something that we choose to see in a different way, something that we choose to do or not do, something we say or don't say. Again, it's not fixed. That's the golden rule. What would you choose to do, say, be today that you wish someone would do, see, say, or be for you? And the golden rule is always here within us. We get to choose right now, and we don't have to wait. It's right now. So put in the comments, what would you choose to do, be, or say today that you wish someone would do, be, or say for you? And I'm going to see what will come here. I would choose to be myself wholly and completely, always and every way, and give others the permission to do, be themselves fully in every way. And that includes making stupid jokes when you're talking about sacred spirituality. That includes like turning up whenever you don't feel like it, turning up when you don't feel you have something to say and saying it anyway. That's what I would offer today, and that's what I am open that others offer to me. Okay. Hey Katrina, thank you. That was deep, 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 deep. Twinkle, 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 little stars in the eyes. So thank you, and honouring to all the ancestors who are listening in and feeling this. Thank you to all the ancestors, past and future. Thank you to all the aspects of ourselves that are giving us this opportunity to look back upon ourselves, to look within ourselves, to look forward as ourselves, to look back as ourselves, to look as the self. Thank you, thank you, thank you to all those who have gone through what has allowed us to be able to contemplate this, share this, shine this, and thank you for all of you who have co-created and collaborated this morning sun-risen soul session. Until next time, from my heart to yours, bad hair and all. Look at the bedhead still rocking today. Until next time, from my heart to yours, the divine in me sees, loves, and honors the divine in you. Namaste. We are